It started like any other summer. Peaceful mornings on the dock, fishing with my old lab Max, and sipping coffee while the lake shimmered. My family's lakefront property had been in our hands for 3 generations. I kept it simple. No fancy landscaping, no country club attitude, just a weathered cabin and a solid old boathouse I maintained myself. Then Karen showed up. Her real name was Meredith, but within a week, everyone started calling her HOA Karen behind her back. Blonde bob, designer sunglasses, clipboard permanently attached to her arm. She moved into the newly developed gated community across the cove and declared herself head of the Lake Property Aesthetics Committee. Whatever that meant, Karen wasted no time handing out pamphlets about acceptable dock designs, boathouse color schemes, and even approved lawn gnome dimensions. I laughed when she first came to my door. "Ma'am," I said, "this land and that boathouse have been here since before your HOA was even a blueprint. I'm not a member. I'm not interested." She frowned. "But your property affects the aesthetic integrity of our community." I shut the door before I said something impolite. Weeks passed. She'd paddle over in her pristine kayak and photograph my dock. Once, I caught her measuring my boathouse's overhang with a retractable tape. I told her again to back off. She said she was documenting noncompliance. Then came the real kicker. I left for a weekend fishing trip with my buddies, and when I came back, I noticed something odd. Curtains. In the boathouse. At first, I thought maybe my cousin had snuck in for a night or two again. But when I opened the door, I found air mattresses, scented candles, and, unbelievably, Karen's monogram towels folded on a chair. She had moved in. Karen, HOA Karen, had broken into my boathouse and turned it into her personal lakefront guest suite. I was so stunned I nearly laughed. Instead, I took photos. Lots of them. I texted her and asked what the hell she was doing. Her reply: "Given that your structure is non-compliant and idle, I've temporarily repurposed it under the Neighborhood Improvement Initiative. I've submitted a usage variance. You're welcome to apply for approval." That was it. No apology, no offer to leave. Just smug HOA jargon like I owed her something. So I made a plan. Early the next morning, while she was out on one of her community nature walks, I got to work. I unmoored the boathouse from its anchor points, attached 2 small trolling motors I'd rigged up on flotation frames, used for duck blinds, and towed that sucker right into the center of the lake. By noon, it was floating serenely, halfway between the eastern and western shores, far enough out that no one could legally claim land rights, but close enough to be visible from Karen's massive bay windows. I even added a small laminated sign, "Floating Guest Suite, HOA President's New Office, by appointment only." The reaction? Instant fireworks. Karen marched down her dock, screaming about theft, endangerment, and property damage. I calmly told her she'd broken into my structure, trespassed, and illegally occupied it. I showed her photos. I told her I'd reported it to the sheriff and had already spoken to my lawyer. Spoiler, she backed down. Within days, the HOA board, apparently even they were tired of her, issued a formal apology. Karen resigned from her self-appointed position soon after, and the community quietly stopped enforcing her bizarre rules. As for the boathouse, I brought it back 2 weeks later, a little sun-faded, but otherwise unharmed. And now, I added cameras and a padlock, and one very important sign: "No Karens allowed."